Okay, this weekend we'll do a little something different. I finished the set pieces, so technically I was ready to start working on the buggy again. But I decided in one of my last videos I showed you I have a 67 Beetle. It has an electrical problem that I want to get sorted out so I can start driving it this summer. It needs a new ignition, and unfortunately I have to drill out the column to fix that. So I decided this weekend I'm going to go ahead and do that instead of working on the buggy, because next weekend I'll be going to Columbus, Ohio to see Bruce Springsteen in concert. It's a Christmas present that I bought my mom in Christmas 2022. He had to, it was supposed to have been in March on my mom's birthday, but he had to postpone that. Then he had another makeup date in September that got postponed. So it ends up being on my birthday this year in April. So again, it'll be another weekend I'm not working on the buggy, so I feel like I'm falling behind. And at work, I'm also very busy. We have a big project. I had to fill in for someone. We lost a position to someone. I had to fill in that position, so I'm doing a really big project at work. So April's been a tough month as far as getting things done. But in May, I'll be able to take off several weeks, so hopefully I'll be able to make it up and get back on the buggy and the transmission for the Baja. I'm going to start some Baja videos as well. So let's go look at the Beetle and see if we can get it fixed this weekend and get it running and driving again. There's a saw when I was working on the set pieces. There's the Beetle, so probably going to push it out to the driveway and work on it. So let's see what we can do. Okay, I got it pushed out. Let's see if we can start troubleshooting. Now, if I get it running, I'll probably take it to the car wash. Gotten a little dusty in here with all the work been doing. So hopefully it's a somewhat easy fix. Problem I'm having, it'll start. I mean, I started this winter, but when I turn the key, if I can get there, underneath here it gets extremely hot. So I think there's a short in the wiring under here somewhere. And my ignition key here is not really a key. I just had to pull the whole tumbler out. Someone stole the key. I know who did it, but I didn't catch them doing it, so really couldn't do anything about it. So that's been my key for a couple of years, and I have a new key there to put into it, so I'm finally going to do it. But these columns, instead of being bolted in, they're riveted in, so you have to kind of drill those rivets out in order to drop the column. I don't know why Volkswagen did that, because they put the rest of the car together with 13mm bolts, so I don't know why in that one spot they decided to make it difficult. So I'm going to start the task of drilling those bolts out and dropping the column and seeing if I can find some frayed wiring. Like I say, it's still running. Like I say, it was still running fine. It was just starting to smoke from this wire, so obviously there's a short there. So let's see what we can do. Okay, I've been drilling it out. I tried using a punch on the rivets to get started. I was kind of successful on one side, the other side not so much, but it's starting to come. I got that side out, and I'm almost got that side out, so just about ready to drop it. It's been a pain in the ass. It's hard to fit in there. Okay, these are the studs that come out of the column there once you get them drilled out. You can see where I drilled them out on the top, but they have like a carriage bolt on top, so there's no Allen or anything to get them off, but they are threaded, which is kind of weird. So I don't know how they do it from the factory, so I'll be able to put it back. I'll just be able to get regular bolts and just go back up in the original holes. But it's just kind of a weird thing that Volkswagen did. I'm not sure why. But now I'm going to tear into this and see if I can find some wires, because this is where the this is what was getting hot and where the smoke was coming from. So I'm going to pull this apart and hopefully put the new ignition and hopefully be able to find the problem. Okay, before I pulled it apart, I found the problem. It looks like there's two contacts fused together. That's not supposed to have a whole hole in it right there, so that would be the problem. So I'm going to pull this cover off, and then I'll get inside there and see what caused that. But that's the issue, so hopefully it turns out to be an easy fix. Okay, I think I knew what caused the problem. Like I say, someone stole the key for this, and I had drilled this out just to make it turn with any, I mean, screwdriver or anything. And you can see down there, there's debris in there, but this side was full of debris. When I had drilled, it was filled. I dumped it all out. You can see it on the ground right there. I mean, it was a lot of debris, and I think those shavings worked their way back into that section and probably shorted it out. So it probably just got metal shavings in there, and then that was able to slowly make a electrical connection and shorted it out. So, well, I'm gonna change the lock mechanism here, dig into this a little further, pull that apart, and see if we can't get it all fixed. Okay, I got my new tumbler. These usually, what you can see, has a little spring on top. They're spring loaded. That little spring pushes in, and these usually have an access hole, so I'm assuming this hole right here will go down. Yeah, it's spring, so you have to put pressure in on that, and then that should pop out. You can see all the shavings that were down inside there, so that's what worked their way through and caused electrical connection. So it's really my fault, but one of those things. But we're getting it. Also, normally this piece wouldn't come out here. You saw that it was out, and there's a pin that you would have to pull to get it out normally, but this one has already been broken off, so it just came out on its own. So I don't think that'll be an issue with anything going back together, but normally this piece wouldn't come out as easy. So in a way, I'm kind of lucky that it did come out. Okay, I got the new ignition in, and it's working. This is the locking column, actually, is what this is. So I'm debating on whether to take it out altogether and leave it in, because I don't know. I might put it back, I might leave it out. The only problem with leaving it out, it works as a bolt spacer right here. The bolt goes up through here, so it's sort of like a thick washer in a way. So I'll probably leave it, but I did think about getting rid of it, but it seems to work properly now. So now I need to go look at the wiring and see if I can fix that. So the ignition key, that seems to be fixed. So now let's move on to the wiring. Getting ready to get into this. I think what's happened here, we got 3 contact points there, and there's 2 wires right here. There's one there and there's one there. Those wires seem to have fused together in there. So sun's messing with my focus here, but anyway, I'm getting ready to cut this covering off, and I think these 2 wires are going to be fused together. So okay, just as I suspected, that's the problem. These 2 wires obviously got hot, so those 2 wires became 1 wire, which is not good. So need to separate these wires and recover them, and should solve the problem. So that's what we're going to work on. And yeah, I just blasted my knuckle on something, so that was fun. But anyway, let's get this fixed, and hopefully by the end of the day we'll be maybe taking a short ride. Okay, I found no problem. I got the wires separated. The problem I have now is I can't find my tape, so I'm gonna have to run out to Lowe's. I need new bolts for the column anyway, so I'm gonna go out and get what I need to repair those wires to cover them up, make them safe again, and I'll get the bolts, and I should be able to put it all back together. Okay, I'm back from Lowe's. I got some shrink wrap. Even though I can't shrink wrap those, I'll show you what I'm going to do with that just to help protect the wires. I got some tape. I got some bolts. I had to get 2 sides of the long bolts because one looked like it might be too short and one looked like it'd be too long, so I'll go with a long one. I wanted to get the button head or the Allen head bolts, but they didn't have them long enough for the longer ones. So these, I just had to make sure that there's enough room to get a socket in there, which I think there is. So those should work. So let's go tape up the wire, and then we'll get this all put back together. Okay, my plan is going to be to individually put tape around these wires. Then I'm going to put a piece of shrink wrap. I'm going to have to split it and kind of just wrap it over it to just add a little bit of extra protection. Then I'll retape that too. And I've got some little foam that I'm going to put in between there, so hopefully these never make contact with each other again. So let's see what we can do. Okay, here's where this video is going to stop. After I was starting to tape them, the terminal came out of the ignition switch. I'm having a hard time finding this exact switch. I found one that looks similar, but I can't tell. I'm going to have to do some more research. I'm probably going to have to call. I think this one is smooth, and then the cap, it has this cap that goes on it, on top of it. They make one that has that cap, but it's built into this unit, and I'm guessing that's a replacement for this one. So you don't have to use that cap, but I'm not 100% sure. I've got the part number, so I'm gonna have to research it and make a phone call on Monday and make sure I order the right one. So it looks like the bug's not gonna get finished this weekend, but at least I solved the problem and I know what the problem is and how to fix it. So it's just a matter of getting a new switch and putting it all back together. So I guess this video will continue next week. Okay, I took pictures of everything I need here. All the numbers off this, measured everything so I know the diameter and everything. So now I'm just gonna have to do some research and make sure I found the right switch. And then we'll pick this video back up once I get the switch. So hopefully midweek I'll have it running. Shouldn't take too long, but I wanna make sure I get the right switch. They have a bunch of different ones, but none that seems to match the one that came out of exactly. So I think they've just updated it, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to find out. So we'll wait until Monday. Okay, here's what's happening today. On the bug, the ignition, I'm gonna put up a picture. I'm having a hard time. It's a rare ignition switch, and you have to find basically an NOS, and I found one in Spain so far, but I can't get the guy to communicate with me, so I'm still looking. I'm gonna put the picture up of what I'm looking for, so if anybody knows where I can find one, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's gonna end this video, and then I'm gonna right into the next video.